The first time Emma dialed her billionaire boss after midnight, her hands were shaking so badly she almost dropped the phone. Outside her apartment window, fireworks were already testing the sky early, bursts of gold and red over the frozen rooftops of Cleveland. The last night of the year was supposed to feel hopeful. Instead, her 8-year-old daughter was crying in the bedroom down the hall. "Mom," Lily had whispered 20 minutes earlier, her small voice cracking. "Everyone else's dad is coming to the New Year's party tomorrow. Can I borrow one?" Borrow one. Emma had smiled when she heard it. Then she had closed the bathroom door and cried quietly so Lily wouldn't hear. She hadn't planned on calling him. People like Nathaniel Reed didn't answer calls from assistants on holidays. Nathaniel Reed owned half the skyline. Downtown, Reed Technologies stamped across glass towers and news headlines. He traveled in black SUVs and shook hands with governors. He was the kind of man who had security guards outside his office and people whose only job was to filter his messages. And yet, when Emma pressed his contact name, he answered on the second ring. "Emma?" His voice was calm, steady. Surprised, but not irritated. "Is everything okay?" She almost hung up. "I'm so sorry to bother you, Mr. Reed," she said quickly. "I know it's New Year's Eve. I wouldn't call unless it mattered." A pause. "Is Lily okay?" The fact that he remembered her daughter's name nearly broke her. "She's fine," Emma said, swallowing. "Physically, Tomorrow is the school's New Year's family night. They're doing a father-daughter dance at midnight. Her dad hasn't been in the picture for years." Her voice thinned. She asked if I could find someone to stand in. Silence on the other end. Emma rushed to fill it. "I know this is inappropriate. I know you're busy. I just thought, you want me to be her dad for the night?" It wasn't a question. Her face burned even though he couldn't see her. "Just for a couple of hours. You wouldn't have to say much. Just show up. Dance with her. So she doesn't feel different." The fireworks outside exploded louder, rattling the glass. She waited for a polite decline, for a careful explanation about boundaries and optics. Instead, Nathaniel Reed said quietly, "What time?" Nathaniel hadn't planned on spending New Year's, even a public elementary school gymnasium. His assistant had scheduled him for a charity gala in Manhattan. Black tie, cameras, speeches about innovation and growth. He'd canceled an hour after Emma's call. "Family emergency," he'd told the event coordinator. Technically, it was. The next evening, he stood outside Lincoln Elementary School with snow crunching under his polished shoes. He had traded his tuxedo for a simple navy suit and left the driver at home. No press, no announcements. Inside, the gym was strung with silver streamers and paper stars. A banner read, "Shine bright in the new year." He felt oddly nervous. He negotiated multi-million-dollar mergers without blinking. But the idea of disappointing one little girl made his chest tight. Emma spotted him first. She was wearing a modest emerald dress and looked both relieved and terrified. "You came," she breathed. "I said I would." She led him toward Lily, who stood near the refreshment table in a sparkly silver dress, clutching a paper tiara. Her eyes were red from crying earlier. "Lily," Emma said gently, kneeling beside her. "There's someone who wants to meet you." Nathaniel crouched down so he was eye level. "Hi, Lily, I hear you're the bravest second grader in Ohio." She blinked at him. "Mom says that when she's trying not to cry." He smiled. "Your mom's right." Lily studied him. "Are you really going to be my dad tonight?" The question hit harder than any boardroom challenge. "For tonight," he said carefully, "I'd be honored." Her lip trembled. Then she stepped forward and hugged him, small arms, wrapping around a man who hadn't been hugged like that in years. Across the gym, a few parents whispered. Some recognized him. Phones discreetly appeared. Emma's shoulders stiffened. Nathaniel felt it too, the shift in air when wealth enters a humble room. But Lily's hand slipped into his, warm and trusting. "Come on," she said. "They're about to start the games." And just like that, he was no longer a billionaire CEO. He was a dad helping his daughter toss beanbags into plastic buckets. The night unfolded in small sacred moments. He helped Lily win a stuffed penguin at the ring toss. He let her smear blue frosting on his cheek while decorating cupcakes. When a group of boys laughed and said, "That's not your real dad," Nathaniel stood calmly and said, "Real is whoever shows up." The boys went quiet. Emma watched from the sidelines. Her heart caught between gratitude and something more complicated. She had known Nathaniel for 3 years. He was disciplined, precise, often distant. He remembered birthdays and work deadlines, but he never spoke about his own life. She had once overheard another executive mention a divorce. No children. At 11:55 p.m., the lights dimmed for the father-daughter dance. A soft version of Auld Lang's Sign drifted through the speakers. Lily looked up at Nathaniel. "I don't know how to slow dance." "Neither do I," he admitted. She giggled. "Mom says just sway." So they did. He placed his hands carefully on her shoulders, and she wrapped her arms around his waist. They swayed under paper stars while parents snapped photos and confetti cannons waited in the corners. Nathaniel felt something unfamiliar tighten in his throat. He had built an empire from nothing. He had grown up in a 2-bedroom apartment with a father who worked double shifts and still missed most school events. He had sworn that if he ever became successful, he would never be too busy for family. And yet somewhere along the way, ambition had replaced presence. At 11:59, Lily leaned her head against him. "Thank you for coming," she whispered. "Now I don't feel like the only kid without a dad." He closed his eyes briefly. "You're never the only anything, Lily, and you deserve someone who shows up every time." The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. As the room shouted and confetti burst into the air, Nathaniel made a quiet promise, not to Lily but to himself. When midnight struck, Lily threw her arms around him again. Emma joined them, tears openly streaming now. "Happy New Year," Lily said. "Happy New Year," he replied, his voice thick. But the night wasn't finished. As families gathered coats and leftover cupcakes, a man staggered into the gym doorway. Emma froze. Her ex-husband. He looked thinner, worn, smelling faintly of alcohol and regret. "I heard there was a party," he muttered, eyes landing on Lily. "I'm her dad." The room went still. Lily's grip tightened on Nathaniel's sleeve. Emma stepped forward. "You weren't invited." "I have a right," he snapped. "That's my daughter." Nathaniel didn't raise his voice. He simply placed himself slightly between the man and Lily. "You have a responsibility," he said evenly. "Rights come after that." The man scoffed. "And who are you supposed to be?" "For tonight?" Nathaniel answered. "I'm the one who showed up." It wasn't a threat. It wasn't cruel. It was simply true. The ex-husband looked around at the watching parents, at Lily's frightened eyes, at the billionaire standing calm and unmovable. Something in his posture deflated. "I just didn't want her to forget me," he muttered. Lily's voice was small but steady. "I won't forget you. But you have to come when you say you will." The honesty of a child cut deeper than any argument. After a long moment, he nodded and left. The gym slowly exhaled. Nathaniel knelt in front of Lily. "Are you okay?" She nodded. "Yeah." Then she looked at him carefully. "You're still my dad for tonight, right?" He smiled. "The clock hasn't struck 12 twice." She giggled. Later, after dropping them home, Nathaniel sat in his car outside their apartment building. He could return to penthouses and private jets, to deals and headlines, but something had shifted. He thought about how small Lily's hand felt in his, how fiercely Emma had tried to carry everything alone, how easily one evening of presence had changed a little girl's entire year. The next Monday at the office, Emma expected things to return to normal. Instead, Nathaniel called her into his office. "I've been reviewing our company's community outreach," he said, sliding a folder across the desk. "We fund technology labs and scholarships." "That's good, but it's not enough." She blinked. "Sir, I want to start a mentorship program for single-parent families. Employees volunteer time, not money. Show up to games, school events. Real presence." Emma stared at him. "Because of Lily?" "Because of Lily," he confirmed. "And because there are thousands of kids who just need someone in the room." Her eyes filled again. "And," he added more softly, "if you're comfortable with it, I'd like to keep showing up, not as a replacement, but as a friend, for both of you." It wasn't romantic, not yet. It was something steadier, something human. Emma nodded. "We'd like that." A year later, on another New Year's Eve, the Lincoln Elementary gym was fuller than ever. The mentorship program had grown beyond Cleveland. News outlets had covered it, not as a publicity stunt, but as a quiet revolution in corporate culture. This time, dozens of volunteers stood beside children who once felt alone. Lily tugged on Nathaniel's hand again, now a little taller, a little braver. "You're coming next year too, right?" she asked. He knelt down, smiling. "Lily," he said, "I'm not just borrowing the job anymore." Across the room, Emma watched them, hope warming her chest like the first sunrise of the year. When midnight came and the confetti fell, it wasn't about wealth or status or second chances. It was about a simple choice made on a trembling phone call. To answer, to show up, to be someone's dad, even if it started with just one night. And in that choice, 3 lives and countless others were changed by the quiet, extraordinary power of kindness.